here's your EOAlive weather forecast.
Hope all of the great starts to the work week. Gabe Curtis reporting on this December 19th, brought to you by Valley Insurance. We're now in downtown LeGrand with open enrollment through January 15th. We've seen those temperatures hold into the 20s for much of us today, with that exception for those warmer spots. John Day and Pendleton into the mid to the upper 30s. Heading into the overnight hours tonight, we'll see a dusting to 4 inches of snow across the northern blues and will allow us, as much of us will drop into the upper teens to lower 20s, with that exception for that cold spot 10 in Burns, when we're expecting conditions to remain dry out towards our south, with more breaks in that cloud cover allowing for some areas of fog to develop in portions of our region. Heading into the day on Tuesday, much of us will be topping out into the low to mid 30s, with that exception for coldest out towards Ontario and Burns into the mid to the upper 20s, as conditions will be much drier out that way, although I can't rule out at least some areas to pick up a dusting of snow out towards our south, but that will become likely across the remainder of our region. In fact, it's even possible a few of our northern valleys could pick up an inch or two of snow as we get closer to the evening hours. But if you want to see more than that, you really have to get into the mountains, with upwards of 6 inches into our highest elevations. Heading into today on Tuesday for LeGrand, it looks like this will start out into the mid to the upper 20s at the 8 o'clock hour, with a bit of a southeasterly breeze, lots of gloom, not much activity the first half of the day, but there will definitely be some scattered light snow flurries around. But then we'll start to see those winds gradually pick up, changing into the southwest by the evening and gusting up to 35 miles per hour in spots, as we see increasing precipitation late day into the evening. It may start as a mix of rain, snow, and grapple showers as highs reach the mid 30s by the 4 o'clock hour, but then we'll start to see some slight cooling into the evening as steady snow develops, with an additional dusting to 4 inches across our valleys overnight and into early Wednesday, before we see conditions become dry during the day as winter solstice begins at 1:47 p.m., just in time to see more breaks in that cloud cover, allowing for much of us to see the coldest temperatures of the season so far. No, you are not looking at that wrong. I am forecasting negative territory, as much of eastern Oregon will be getting below zero into Thursday morning. As we get to my 7-day forecast, those highs will hold into the teens for your Thursdays. I'm not expecting much sunshine. In fact, more gloom during the day will produce a possibility for a few flurries into the evening, but not becoming likely until the overnight hours, with our last chance for single-digit air. We're back up into the 20s for your Friday. That's our next threat for a few inches of snow, which could continue into early Saturday. But overall, Christmas Eve begins our bigger warming trend, where we could maybe see a transition to ice or rain into the afternoon hours. Christmas Day calls for drier conditions than not, although there will be some isolated showers around depending on the temperature, maybe a few flurries or sprinkles. Otherwise, it would become mainly dry into early next week, of those highs warm all the way back into the low to mid 40s, with lows back into the mid to the upper 30s, as above average temperatures take over for the final week of December. This has been Gabe Curtis, bringing the most accurate forecasting you can get here in Eastern Oregon. Thank you to the folks down at Valley Insurance for sponsoring this weathercast, and I will be back tomorrow.